It's good to have you join us on this edition of NAFDAC and Your Health. On this program, we bring you information on the activities of NAFDAC and ensuring that the health of Nigerians are safeguarded. My name is Amanda Ugo.
Today on NAFDAC and Your Health, we'll begin with the participation of the Director-General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, at the 2024 edition of the Nigerian Development and Finance Forum Annual Conference, which held in Abuja recently. And then we'll go on to bring you news of NAFDAC from the agency's office across the nation. The obligation of NAFDAC to the nation, which is to safeguard the health of the Nigerian people, has been given utmost attention, and evident results have been produced over the years, especially since the current Director General of the agency, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, took over the mantle of leadership at the agency. Still, Professor Mojisola has been relentless in partnering and collaborating in every quarters that will advance the cause of the regulatory agency. She has also been quite a conspicuous participant at every forum where the issues relating to protecting the welfare and health of Nigerians are being deliberated. It was in this quest that Professor Mojisola Adeyeye was at the 2024 edition of the Nigerian Development and Finance Forum recently held in Abuja.
The conference, which is aimed at helping to support the rise of Africa and particularly Nigeria, is also focused towards coming up with reforms to advance Nigeria and to get Nigerians to be optimistic that Nigeria will rise again. All the discussions at the conference were captured under the theme, The Road to Social Welfare and Transformation.
In her speech at the conference, which centered on unlocking the value chain, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye gave details of the transformative journey of NAFDAC since the beginning of her headship at the agency, which has brought the regulatory agency to its present enviable state.
You've got to have a strong regulatory system, or well-managed, with very strong leadership. From the NAFDAC's perspective, we've got to change our mindset by thinking quality in whatever we do. So in 2018, we started quality management system that focuses on the customer. We deal with thousands, hundreds of thousands of clients. We started thinking of what am I doing that can affect the customer. We started thinking of documentation, proper documentation. We started thinking of standard operating procedures. And I just brought, we have quality management system. Change in mindset, transparency, accountability, documentation, reviews of key performance indicators, proactive approach to risk and crisis management, and having business continuity plan. If something happens, what are we going to do? Just like the pandemic. You have quality management system, you start getting international recognition. You start getting attraction for investment. We cannot get attraction for investment if we don't have quality management system, because the investors will not trust that their money is going to be well used. Next place. So, for NAFDAC, we restructured completely. We restructured our organogram. The staff were always on strike before I came. There was disillusionment, no career advancement. We changed it, moving from 13 directorates to 26 directorates, so that many staff will retire as directors. And not for the sake of retirement, it is to have governable units. Governable, have a coordinating directorship where only few will be reporting to me, and the coordinating directors will be managing other directorates. And that gives them skills development opportunity. We are 2,000 members, 2,027 staff, next place. And we are so short-staffed. Very, very short-staffed. We burn candles at both ends, as you're going to see. And we're a multidisciplinary scientific organization. multidisciplinary scientific organization. Next, please. Strong regulatory system is mandatory for Nigeria to have attraction for investment. You've got to have strong regulatory system. Whether it is for NAFDAC, whether it is customs, whether it is banking, whatever sector. But for us, to unlock that value chain, we needed tools. I met 3.2 billion naira debt and 500 million naira that was spent within 2 months before I came. What do? I told my staff we got to pay the debt. Nobody pays debt in Nigeria. We got to pay debt so that we can learn how not to owe money, how not to be in debt. So for about 2 years, we were learning how not to get into debt. You cannot attract investors if you are a debtor organization. No investor will take you. We started building infrastructure. Please go back. We started building infrastructure. We have dilapidated buildings in the states, and customers come to us. Sometimes they have to go 6 floors at the National Secretariat or the Federal Secretariat. So we started improving our infrastructures, reactivating our ICT. Without ICT, without digitalization, no investor coming from outside we want to deal with you because there will not be transparency. We started equipping our laboratories. We have 7 laboratories, and one equipment can be 200 million naira, one piece of equipment. We didn't have a lot of equipment. About 80% of our equipment were not working when I came. We started saving money so that we can have money to buy things that we need. Vehicles. NAFDAC goes to nooks and corners of Nigeria to do inspection. We cannot take Okada. So we needed strong vehicles. So we have bought over 140 vehicles, still ongoing. Because my plan is to have 3 vehicles for 3 senatorial districts per state.
Earlier on, the background of how the annual conference began had been given.
The idea of NDDF, which is the short for Nigeria Development and Finance Forum, came around mid-2000s. At that time, there was a notion that Africa was rising, and Nigeria actually was an integral part of that perception of a rise on the continent. And we thought that it was important for us as citizens, either as individual or corporate, to support the narrative of Nigeria rise. And indeed, in the mid-2000s, a number of market reforms were enunciated by the government at the time, and there was a lot of enthusiasm about the Nigerian market. And Nigeria as a country had democratized. We had returned to democracy after years of military rule, and the economy was on the rise. So that there is the need to get citizens to believe once again that Nigeria will rise. And if you are very optimistic, as I would love to be, I would say that we can see certain sparks that indicate a genuine effort to redirect and refocus the economy on the path of sustainable growth.
The Coordinating Minister of Health, Professor Muhammad Ali Patay, while delivering his speech, also spoke about the significance of good health to social welfare and transformation.
There's very good evidence that a healthier and more educated population, the more a country is healthier and more educated, the more the likelihood that that country will have sustainable and more equitable socio-economic development. If you start with a girl, a healthier and educated girl or adolescent girl will grow into a healthier, more empowered young woman who will be a healthier mother. And when she gets pregnant during gestation, the developing fetus of a healthier, active, and safe mother is exposed to less stress, and a well-nourished and fully immunized and intellectually stimulated child will be more likely to get into primary school ready to learn. A well-nourished and healthier child will stay longer in school and successfully transition from class to class, have overall better educational attainment and outcomes, and evidence shows will have higher lifetime earnings. In turn, the increase in incomes by individuals and households will then allow them to save more, will allow government to raise the resources and households to invest more in human capital development, and hence a virtuous cycle gets established.
Speaking after the conference, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye further spoke about what NAFDAC is contributing to social welfare and transformation.
NAFDAC and Your Health continues shortly. Please stay with us.
NAFDAC has observed with dismay the wanton illegality of unlicensed vendors peddling drugs to unsuspecting members of the public, despite efforts aimed at tackling the menace of drug hawking. NAFDAC hereby advises the general public to desist from buying drugs from these merchants of death. Drugs sold by hawkers are fake, counterfeit, and substandard. The hawkers expose the drugs to inclement weather, which degrades their active ingredients since they are stored in conditions that render drugs poisonous. The drugs could therefore damage the liver and kidney or lead to the death of the consumer. Drug hawkers constitute a threat to our national security. Hawking of drug is one of the main causes of drug abuse, as victims continue to fetch drugs from unregistered and unregulated hawkers. Consequently, drug abusers soon succumb to the dilemma of depression, personality disorders, suicidal thoughts, mental disorder, sleep problems, organ failure, damaged immune system, memory loss, anxiety, social and economic problems. NAFDAC hereby warns those involved in the nefarious act of hawking drugs to desist from this illegal act or face the wrath of the law. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Welcome back. You are still tuned to NAFDAC and Your Health.
Bringing you news of activities of NAFDAC from the agency's offices across the nation, we begin from Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has raided Wuse, Utako and Garki markets in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, of counterfeit cosmetic products worth over 35 million naira. The leader of the enforcement team, Mr. Mbogushki Godia, who is a desk officer from the NAFDAC Investigation and Enforcement Directorate, FCT Abuja, said the team acted based on intelligence report that people within the FCT are distributing counterfeit cosmetics products such as body wash and spa products. Mr. Godia said that NAFDAC has evacuated the counterfeit products from different locations and arrested 5 suspected dealers of the products. He said the team will continue the investigation and more suspects will be arrested in the coming days. He therefore warned the public not to patronize any product that is not registered by NAFDAC, as such products are dangerous to health. He also urged the public to report any regulated product that does not have NAFDAC number to the nearest NAFDAC office. NAFDAC, in collaboration with the Abia State government, has launched a coordinated campaign against fake drugs, substandard food and other unhealthy products in the state. Speaking at the stakeholders meeting organized by the Abia State Ministry of Digital Economy in conjunction with NAFDAC and SMEs business traders in Aba, the Director-General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, said under a watch, NAFDAC would not relent in its efforts to eradicate harmful food products and drugs. Professor Adeyeye said the agency is aware that some manufacturers apply for NAFDAC number, and once they get an approval and get NAFDAC number, they change the formulation of the product. This made NAFDAC to begin what the agency calls risk-based post-marketing surveillance. The Abia State Governor, Dr. Alex Oti, said the state needs NAFDAC to guarantee what the residents eat and protect genuine entrepreneurs from those who profit from counterfeit products. On her visit to Abia State, the NAFDAC DG also paid a courtesy visit to the Abia State Governor, Dr. Alex Oti. She also signed an MOU with the Ezioku market leaders in Aba. The director of the Northeast Zone of NAFDAC has restated the agency's commitment to ensuring that all consumables are safe for the consumption of the Nigerian citizens. This was at a training organized by the agency to train over 100 micro, small and medium-scale business owners in Maiduguri, Borno State. This initiative by NAFDAC, which has become a routine across all the zones of the agency, is in recognition of the role the MSMEs play in the development of the nation's economy. The training was centered on best practices and the necessity of product registration. The Zonal Director of the Northeast Zone, Mr. Kenneth Azikwe, said the trainees have been taught how to manufacture low-risk products with good quality that are safe and are in line with global standards. He added that they have also been taught what they need in terms of structure, documentation and ways of making profit legitimately. He concluded that the MSME operators are responsible for driving innovation and competition in many economic sectors. Hence, they need to register with the agency. These trainees are expected to cascade what they learned to others who were not present at the training, as they have come from different areas of Borno State. It is believed that the lessons taught at the training will circulate across the state. The training covered a wide range of topics, including quality assurance, product registration requirements, and manufacturers' do's and don'ts. Following a complaint from a concerned citizen on the circulation of substandard and falsified ampicillin plus gloxacillin powder in Kano Coordinated Wholesale Center, intelligence was carried out and one Mr. Godwin Alumana, the distributor of the products, was arrested and brought to the Investigation and Enforcement Directorate of NAFDAC. His interrogation led to the arrest of Mr. Hilary Ona Chigozie in Minna, Niger State, the major distributor of the company that manufactured the substandard and falsified product. On the 14th of May 2024, Mr. Hilary Ona led operatives to Dedison Healthcare Limited at Sabon Wuse, Tafa Local Government Area, Niger State, where the managing director, Mr. Gideon Amao, was arrested. The factory was equally sealed and locked. The managing director has, however, admitted committing the heinous crime. Investigation revealed that the company and the managing director are into the production of several other substandard and falsified products, such as Asian erythromycin suspension, Asian ORS, among several others, using fake NRN and fake manufacturer's name and address as Asian Pharmaceutical Limited, 18/20, Boma Road, P.O. Box 1822, Apapa, Lagos, Nigeria. Manufacturer's address was visited, but it turned out to be non-existent. Interestingly, NAFDAC registered only Gidi Balm and Dr. Gidi's tonic immune booster and detoxifier for the company. Investigation is ongoing. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has sealed 2 unregistered factories in Lafia and Obiloku government areas of Nasarawa State. NAFDAC coordinator in the state, Mr. Matthew Adeyeye, made this known in Lafia. He said the sealed facilities are an agrochemical factory in Lafia and a table water producing factory in Obi, adding that regulatory officers of the agency had on May 9 raided the factories and discovered that their products were falsified and substandard. According to him, the companies specialized in manufacturing of falsified and adulterated agrochemicals and unapproved packaged water. The activities of these illegal manufacturers of falsified, adulterated agrochemicals have a serious negative effect on farm produce. Both companies were found operating without approval, which is a violation of NAFDAC Act Cap F33 LFN 2004. Mr. Adeyeye went further to explain that adulterated products from manufacturers like these, when used, do not produce the desired result and cause economic losses, loss of livestock and resultant effects on humans. The packaged water facility was also operating in an unhygienic environment without adhering to the water treatment procedures outlined by NAFDAC. Equipment of the two factories were confiscated, while the factories will remain sealed until further notice. Mr. Adeyeye called on manufacturing companies to ensure that they register with relevant regulatory agencies to avoid sanctions. The Southwest Zonal Director of NAFDAC, Mrs. Mojisola Adeyeye, on behalf of the NAFDAC Director-General, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, recently issued listing certificates to dealers of agrochemicals in Oyo State. This move, according to the Southwest Zonal Director, is to ensure effective monitoring and control of the activities of the agrochemical dealers in terms of distribution, storage and sales. Added that the listed dealers are recognized by NAFDAC as authorized chemical dealers who are expected to partner with the agency in measures to ensure that only approved chemicals from recognized sources are made available to farmers and other users in Nigeria. Mrs. Mojisola Adeyeye congratulated the listed agro-impute dealers in Oyo State on behalf of the Director-General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, with the expectation that the landmark achievement will be a motivation for others to join the squad as partners to sanitize the sector. That was NAFDAC Update. You have been updated.
That brings us to the end of this edition of NAFDAC and Your Health. We promise to bring you another insightful and informative package, same time, same station, next week. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us if you have any information on acts that negate the activities of NAFDAC.
You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
Remember, it is illegal to produce, import, distribute, market, advertise or sell unwholesome food products, drugs, chemical and medical equipment. Do not engage in these acts. Till we meet again next week, stay safe.